Dustwallow Marsh is such an interesting zone to me because it's not only got a lot of interesting lore, it's got major characters like Jaina, Nat Pagal, Onyxia in it, but it's also got a lot of development lore. There's a lot of really weird stuff that went on with this zone. They added a ton of quests to this zone in the Burning Crusade, a storyline that takes place as early as Classic in this zone doesn't ever get finished until they add these new quests in the Burning Crusade. So it always made me think that they had major plans for this zone, bigger plans than they originally let on. And if you came here prior to patch 1.9, I am on the Alcaz Island in a secret cave that's been flooded, a little prison here. You'd see King Varian Wrynn. This is a very interesting storyline, and I think the questline that we're going to be taking a look today, both the classic and TBC counterpart, and then the more modern Kata and onward up through Shadowlands counterpart, really tells an incredible tale about a story that simply could have been one of the most important stories ever to happen in World of Warcraft. For some reason, it didn't, but we do know that they had big plans. Obviously, you're not going to have the King of Stormwind in this prison if they didn't have big plans, but it was a big deal at the time, and I'm just so happy to be able to relive it today. So let's take a look at the Missing Diplomat quest and what it ultimately becomes after the Cataclysm. Excuse me, Bishop DeLavy asked me to approach adventurers that might be able to help him with a delicate matter. If you could quietly head to Stormwind Keep and speak to him at your earliest convenience, I'm sure he would appreciate your help. Again, please be discreet. It's a matter of some importance.
Greetings.
Hello, Metro. I am Bishop DeLavy. No doubt if you're asking me about my business here in the Keep, then young Thomas has succeeded in requisitioning you to help our kingdom. He's always been adept at following my requests. I'm afraid I don't have much time to elaborate, so allow me to be blunt. And please, try to keep this from becoming common knowledge. Recently, a diplomat was sent to Theramore to meet with Jaina Proudmoore. That diplomat never arrived. I believe the Defias are involved in the plot, but I'm not sure how. The diplomat's disappearance still eludes public attention, but it can't remain that way for long. Agents of the king are already scouring the city for clues, but I have my own contacts I would like involved. In the Valley of Heroes is an old friend of mine named Jorgen. Find him, give him this note, and follow his instructions.
What can I do for you?
You better have a good reason to interrupt a man and his fishing. I don't take kindly to peddlers, let alone beggars. Alright, I'll help you, but not because I want to, but because I'm obliged. Let's get one more thing straight. You're knowing far more than you should to begin with. Let's keep this our little secret, and don't go blabbing at any tavern about anything you find out. You understand? Take this here note to Elling Trius. Don't say nothing else to him. Just be polite and wait for him to respond. And don't worry, he will. I'm going to only impress this once on you more. Treat this matter seriously and keep your yappers shut. You can find Trius at the cheese shop. Trius's Cheese in the Trade District. Good luck.
Have a good one. You need something?
Hello, is there something I can do for you? Perhaps you'd like to try some of our special cheddar, or a block of Darnasian blue? I'm sorry, a letter for me? Well, I'll be... Not often you get a delivery that's not a crate or barrel when all you do is work. Let's see what this is about. You look a little tense, you okay? Jorgen, you old son of a... So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Alright, I can deal with that. I hope he finds the twisting nether that much sooner. Here's what's gonna happen, Metro. I'll start using my contacts here, but you're doing most of the footwork so I can save some coin. Head to Darkshire and Duskwood and find Watcher Bacchus. He usually patrols the North Road right outside of town. Just tell him you're looking into any Defias activity for me, and he'll help you out with any information he can.
Light be with you.
Not too safe to be traveling around the woods, Metro. Be careful, and if you see anything suspicious or dangerous, contact the Watchers immediately. Don't try and take anything on yourself. We're not responsible for anything terrible that might happen to you. But we both know you're gonna ignore me and fight whatever comes out of the darkness anyway, don't we? Yeah, you adventure types all the same. Oh, Trias sent you, huh? That's a little different. Feel free to fight whatever monstrosities come at you from the darkness. I'm sure you'll be able to handle it pretty easily if you're the type to be hanging around with the likes of him. So, what does my friend need of me on such a gloomy day as this? What, Defias activity? Well, there's always some activity. Even if they keep to themselves, we still consider them a threat. But now that I think about it, there was a recent sighting that did seem odd. It must have been a couple weeks ago, but some of their agents had gathered around Adelstead. From the report, I'd guess something big went down. Why don't you check there first and bring me back anything you find? The farmstead is south of the road from Westfall, just as you enter Duskwood. Our first plan has already failed. Fist was successful in switching the guard roster for the tunnel shafts that evening, but due to some unforeseen efforts by some of the citizens of Stormwind, our target was able to flee from the scene before we could capture him. But we planned for such contingencies. Plan 2 has been set in motion and was well underway before our ambush was set off in Stormwind. Plan 2 is just as simple, but it will require more patience on our part. Our man on the inside in Menethil has already been paid for his efforts, and he succeeded brilliantly. We should have no problem acquiring our target and capturing him once we've set sail. Expect the attack to happen a few miles from their destination. That's where our allies will be laid in waiting. I'm not sure why we've been forced to form an alliance with the creatures, but I can't help but feel we're being coerced ourselves. Ultimately, it won't matter. With the target in our custody, we'll be well on our way to taking back Stormwind from those that stole it from us.
Need help?
Be careful out there. I know Trias was the one to send you, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything lurking out in the woods that couldn't cause you some trouble, especially with you investigating the Defias. Well, you're back safe and sound. Couldn't ask for much more than that, could you? Now, let's see what we have here. This looks pretty official as far as the Defias documents I've seen, but it could be a dupe just to throw you off track or whatever it is you're looking for. Oh, wow, this looks way too complex to be something to just lead you astray. I shouldn't even be looking at this stuff. Take it to Trias. He'll be able to make sense of it. And don't let anyone get in your way. This is bigger than me. It might even be bigger than him, but we'll see. And do me a favor, Metro, don't tell anyone I helped you. If my superiors found out I knew about any of this and didn't share it with them, they'd probably hang me.
Hey there.
I see you're back and in one piece. We both know you're not here for cheese, so let's cut out the pleasantries. Was Bacchus any help, or have you even left for Duskwood? Ah, yes, that's an interesting read. Jorgen and DeLevy were smart to bring me in on this. Seems the Defias have been trying pretty hard to complete this plan of theirs. Oh, what's this? Fist? That's a familiar name. And now that I think about it, Dashel something. What was his name? Fist. Dashel Stonefist. They call him Fist in some circles, probably on account that he likes to get in the brawls. You can find him in Old Town usually, right smack dab in the center of it. Go talk to him. If you have to, use the sword or something heavy and blunt to persuade him to open up some. And don't hesitate. If he's in this as deep as these papers suggest, he's not going to willingly give you any information. Why? You come into my alley and ask questions about my personal business? Business which you obviously have nothing to do with? You're obviously not the smartest druid to come into Stormwind, but you're about to be one of the dumbest to never leave. Have you met my friends?
Watch, get her back.
It's okay, boys. Back off. You've done enough. I'll meet up with you later. So you came to me for a reason. What is it that you need? Yeah, I might know something about a meeting at Adelstead. Happened a few weeks back, I think. I really didn't have any part in it. My part was done when Plan A failed. Damn adventurers. The guy we got on the inside for Plan B came out of Menenthil. Guy called Slim. That's all I know regarding their backup plan.
Be good.
Good to see you're still alive. So it went well with Dashel then? I've been reading up more on the plan of theirs, and although it doesn't state their name of the diplomat they were after, it does talk about this Plan B they enacted after failing on their first attempt. This Slim that Dashel mentioned doesn't have any other name written here, but if you say he's in Menenthil, then that's a start. A contact of mine retired in wetlands at the harbor city of Menenthil. He should be willing to help you on your word alone if you tell him you're working for me. His name is Mikhail. He mentioned becoming a bartender before leaving Stormwind a few years ago. Speak to him, find this Slim, and find out if there's anything else to know about this kidnapped diplomat. We need to find out where they've taken him, or at least who he is. The docket doesn't mention anything about their plans after he's captured.
Hello.
Welcome, 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 Metro. Good of you to join us. Perhaps an ale today, or some mutton? Name your pleasure, and I'll see to it that you're taken care of. My name is Mikhail. I look forward to serving you. Oh, what's that? Trius. Keep your voice down, my friend. This isn't something for the whole tavern to hear about. You say Elling sent you here? Well, then the hospitality I express is now tenfold. Anything you need, just ask. I'll do my best to aid you. Slim. Slim, you say? Not sure, the name does sound familiar, but I'll keep my eyes out for him. Don't look now, Metro, but the gentleman over by the exit is looking over here. He's listening to our conversation a little too intently, if you catch my meaning. If I were you, I'd do what I can to subdue him before he makes a break for the door.
See you around.
Okay, no need to get all violent. I'll talk. I have a few notes from the job back at my place. I'll get them and meet you back at the inn. I'm glad the commotion died down some around here. Last thing this place needs is another brawl.
Hey there.
You caught him, huh? Good for you. I'm surprised that was Slim. I'll be honest, I never thought I'd miss the excitement of some of the more devious underground activities. I guess old habits die hard. Don't mention that to Elling. He's probably tried to get me to come back to Stormwind if he heard that I missed the action. I'm glad I could at least be of a little service to you while you were in Menenthil. If you need anything else, just ask.
Have a good one. Can I help you?
The Defias didn't pay me well enough to die for their cause. They took the king. Yes, the king of Stormwind, not some lowly diplomat. He was on his way to Theramore to meet with Jaina Proudmoore. It's a pretty big deal apparently, and a big secret. But it's not just the Defias that are involved. They're working with someone. I think they knew this was bigger than them. My part was just to get their man on board the king's ship while I was in the harbor. The guy's name was Hendel, and that's all I know, I swear.
See you around. You need something?
The king? I mean, the king? The real king? Are you joking? You didn't mention you were looking for the king's kidnappers. I didn't even hear he was missing. That would explain his son being crowned some. I'll send word to Elling right away. He'll want to know you're on the trail. I would never have guessed John would sell out Stormwood for some lousy coin. Even a rogue's gotta have some honor when it comes down to some things. The key now is to find this Hendel, and I think I can help you with that. Beginning of every month, the Cultist Marines are all paid and usually leave Theramore for somewhere else. A lot of them come here to womanize, carouse, and just have a good time. One of those groups I'd consider regulars here at the tavern, and I believe this Hendel is among them. Commander Samuel in Theramore would be able to help you find him if Hendel's stationed here. He's completely loyal to Proudmoore, but if you drop Elling's name, he should help you out, discreetly.
Safe travels.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Metro. I'm Commander Samuel. I'm in charge of Miss Proudmoore's forces here in Theramore. Although I'm quite busy, if you have any questions, please feel free to speak up. I might have to keep it short, but there's no reason for me to be rude if you need my help. If you plan on traveling out of the city, I'd suggest you be careful. Besides ogres, murlocs, and orcs, the southern part of the swamp is filled with black dragons. Hendel, yes, I know the man. But why would you need one of my soldiers? Elling sent you to find him? I don't like the sound of that. Elling wouldn't have come to me first if your business wasn't troubling. I understand if you can't tell me what this is about, but know this. I have a duty to protect these lands. If you are going to cause a disturbance, then I suggest you inform me of whatever you can. I believe Hendel was stationed at the first tower outside of Theramore. Be cautious.
See you later. Greetings.
The man you seek, the one known as Hendel, is not here. Other sources have brought to the Lady Proudmoore information I believe you must already know. She has asked me to find you and give you aid in your venture. If you would allow it, I will tell you where to find Private Hendel so we can bring him to justice. Private Hendel is to the west of here. He's currently on guard duty, protecting some of Theramore's infiltrators while they rest. They've been keeping tabs on the Horde base, Brackenwall, and looking for anything else that might threaten our borders. You should have no problem finding him. Just look for the tents along the road. I have another matter to attend to, but I shall catch up to you soon enough. You can always find me in the Lady Proudmoore's tower if you have any problems. Hello, citizen. This is a dangerous place to be wandering about. I wouldn't hang around too long if you value your life. If you keep your questions short, I'll see if I can help you. Just keep your eyes open for any of those filthy ogres. Rumor has it there's a horde base somewhere in the swamps. The infiltrators are doing what they can to find it, but the process has been slow going and we've had a little progress. What? You come here accusing me of allying with the Defias and think I'll just stand here while you insult me? Something tells me you've had this coming for a long time. Why don't we deal with you now, Hendel? Lady Proudmoore will speak to you back in the tower. Please, Miss Proudmoore, I didn't mean to.
Well met.
I apologize for taking so long to get here. I wanted Lady Proudmoore to be present also. I assure you we're all quite upset about the current events, but allow us to take him back to Theramore for some questioning, and we'll see about finding the king. I'm sure my Lady Proudmoore would like to thank you for her help. Speak to her when you have a moment.
Be careful.
All I ever wanted was to study.
Let me be the first to thank you for all you've done, Metro. You've been an incredible blessing to my people and the people of Stormwind. I am sorry I couldn't make your acquaintance under better circumstances. Understand that I cannot overtly thank you for your efforts, but I assure you again, it is appreciated. When you visit Theramore in the future, seek me out, and I shall try to keep you apprised of the situation. Thank you again. Fascinating stuff. Obviously, some big storyline that was likely gonna come but never did, and then just seemingly got completely changed. Retcon. There's a lot of weird speculation with story in this zone as well. The NPC I'm standing next to, Pained, for a long time, people were speculating that this was actually Medivh's mother, and then people speculate that Tabitha is Medivh's mother. This zone has got a lot going on in it, and there's a lot of fan-based stuff going on in it too. So very interesting to see Varian. I wish I could show you Varian in Classic, but of course he's not present in either Classic or TBC because it was removed and completely changed. And there's more to come though. The Classic storyline is a bit anticlimactic. It feels like, seems like it ended a little too early. So we're going to head over to the post-Cataclysm version and do that element of the questline, which is suspiciously similar, a little different because usually Cataclysm is like a continuation of a classic questline or something that would have happened in the future. This one is almost too suspiciously similar. Let's take a look at that now.
Hey there.
Reports from our scout patrols have recently taken a disturbing turn. They tell of men wearing red defiance bandanas walking the Dreadmurk shore north of Theramore's walls. Wreckage in the area suggests they may be survivors of a shipwreck, but our information is limited. Captain Wymore at Sentry Point, a guard tower to the north of the city, is looking for help in following up on the reports.
For the Alliance. You need something?
Captain makes no effort to hide that he's assessing your abilities. So you've heard about the recent shipwreck off the coast. Good. I could use some help confirming my suspicions about the survivors. Welcome aboard, Metro. My scouts have reported a shipwreck just off the beach to the northwest. The shipwrecks aren't all that unusual out here, but the reports also indicated the survivors were all wearing red bandanas. That's the symbol of the Defias. The reports indicate their leaders reside on a large island just off the coast to the northeast of the tower. Kill him and retrieve any documents you find in his possession.
See you later.
Garn, I need to remind you of the importance of your mission. Protect your precious cargo at any cost. As I have promised, success and discretion will be richly rewarded. Keep the tongue wagging of your associates to a minimum. Heed the crew, and all will be well. I shall await word of your success.
What can I do for you?
Were you able to track down their leader? What in the world could precious cargo refer to? The Defiance have done some small-time smuggling back in Stormwind, but this seems out of their league. The language of these orders suggests a wealthy or maybe a noble patron. From the wording of the orders you recovered, it looks like the first priority of the Defiance will be to locate and secure whatever cargo they possessed. SI-7 has had a salvage diver named Wrynn McGill working out of Theramore for some time. When he heard about the shipwreck, Wrynn went north to dive near the islands the Defias now occupy. If we were to beat the Defias to this cargo, we'll need his help. Look for him in the waters northeast of the small island just north of the island you visited earlier.
Can I help you?
Well met, Paladin. What brings you out here? So there was valuable cargo on board. We have to locate it before the Defias recover it. These guys are no divers, but we're going to need some of their gear if you're going to help me find the cargo. There's plenty of wreckage strewn across the bottom of the water from here to Alcaz, and the Defias are already having divers out there looking around. With the help of some of their gear, we can get you suited up and ready to join the hunt, but you'll have to do some creative borrowing first. Search this island for a crate of diving gear and something to repair it with. When you've got them, bring them to me and I'll have your gear ready in no time.
Be careful. Greetings.
Now let's see what you managed to borrow from the Defias then. This is in worse shape than I thought. And these tools? Well, I said I'd get this back to working condition for you, so I better get to work. I was able to make enough repairs to this gear to let you die for a while anyway. I wouldn't count on it holding out for a long time though. The wreckage of the ship is strewn around the bottom of the east coast of this island out towards Alcaz. While this helm holds out, locate pieces of the wreckage on the bottom between this island and Alcaz. Use the salvage kit to search the wreckage for pieces of the cargo. Be careful not to venture too close to Alcaz Island. Those hydras are fierce.
Have a good one.
Did your search of the wreckage reveal anything about the Defias cargo? Good work. Now, let's see if your precious cargo is in here. Old coins? Ugly jewelry. More ugly jewelry. Letters home. I'm beginning to give up hope. What's this? A pair of manacles, and not just any. These are enchanted. This cargo, it wasn't a thing, it was a person. You must bring news of our findings to Lady Jaina without delay. If the Defias were transporting a prisoner, there's no telling who it might be or if that person is still alive. One thing is for certain, Metro. The Defias wouldn't go through all this trouble for some petty grudge. Their prisoner must have been someone of importance. Lady Jaina would know better than anyone else what these findings mean. You'll find her at the top of the Mage Tower at Theramore's center.
For the Alliance.
All I ever wanted was to study.
You and Wrynn have done excellent work in bringing this information to light and reporting it immediately. Now we must confirm our findings. The implications are too great if we are wrong. It looks like Wren's hunch about Alcaz Island was right. We need to survey that island, but it would take a whole brigade of troops to fight our way there. Theramore's defenses can't weather such a hit, so I've arranged with Cassa Crimsonwing, the apprentice of Theramore's Griffin Master, to allow you to use one of her beasts to survey Alcaz from the air. Alcaz Island holds the key to the mystery of the Defias' involvement in this kidnapping.
Great to meet you.
And Jaina told me to speak to you about using a griffin to survey Alkaz Islands. Okay, so one thing I will have to interject on is this island has been dramatically changed like many times. Like I said earlier in the video, in like prior to 1.9, it used to be like something very cryptic and just like almost Easter egg. Seemed like something they were building towards, obviously, like we talked about. Since then, it has been changed to have a purpose in Classic, and then it's been changed again to have no purpose in TBC, or kind of got stuck, I guess, in the Cataclysm state here with no purpose past, whatever was there from AQ. So now it has been changed again, and I believe this is Legion's iteration. It's a bunch of mechanical mobs here, and it has something to do with a hunter thing. I actually don't know what the purpose of this is, but apparently it has something to do with a hunter, tame, or getting a pet, something like that. I think we actually saw that in when we were down in the crypts there. But yeah, there's the entrance down there. You go in there, and there's like a cave that leads to a prison, and that's where Varian used to be. So when you came through here in Cataclysm, there's a bunch of black dragons and Naga and giant hydras, and very different Naga and hydras than we're used to seeing. Kind of like an old model that probably doesn't get used anywhere in the game anymore, but that's all gone. The island is still very unique because it has like a very odd tile set, especially compared to this zone. So this is like one of the great mysteries of WoW. I feel like there's probably some deep buried hidden story there. You know, if you could go ask the original developers, what was their plan with Alkaz Island? Maybe somebody has done that. A lot of them have been very open ever since Classic came out. But yeah, I don't really know. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, that tour of Alkaz there. And then, the next quest is going to act like we learned something about it. But we didn't personally, because of course, what we see there is not really part of this quest line. Something completely different, some new element that they added to the island. Lady Jaina listens intently as you report the results of your aerial survey. A rune circle? Dragonkin? The Defias have allied themselves with her? The traitor? Lady Jaina composes herself and prepares to explain.
Shh, I'm trying to think here.
Perhaps I should explain. I arranged for a secret summon between Warchief Thrall and King Wrynn here in Theramore. The king was to travel here by ship in secret, but the ship never arrived and King Wrynn disappeared. You helped enable us to connect the Defias to the mastermind behind the abduction, Onyxia, who was posing as a member of the royal court. Meanwhile, the king managed to escape his captors and return to Stormwind to deal with Onyxia. I will send word that you've discovered the link to the Defias. I was a fool to think them broken with the defeat of Edwin Van Cleef, and King Wrynn will want to make an example of all who remain. Although Onyxia has been exposed and removed from the court, the Defias who carried out her plan must be punished. Carry word to Grand Admiral Jestereth in Stormwind Castle that the Defias are the ones who carried out Varian's kidnapping. I have little doubt that Stormwind's armies will mete out swift and terrible justice to those involved. I can use my magic to expedite your trip to Stormwind. Just speak to me when you're prepared to go, Metro.
All I ever wanted was to study. Well met.
So was the Defias who served at the hands of Onyxia in this plot? The Admiral's face grows red with anger and her hands clutch into fists. You and Lady Jaina have done Stormwind a great service this day. The traitors will not live long enough to regret their crimes. We must make plans to destroy the remnants of the Defias. Please, convey my thanks to Lady Jaina back in Theramore. She has ever been a loyal friend and steadfast ally. Go to the Mage Quarter at the western end of the city and speak with Archmage Malin at the foot of the tower there. He will speed your return to Theramore.
Need help?
Can you send me to Theramore? I have an urgent message for Lady Jaina from King Wrynn.
One of the Alliance.
Shh, I'm trying to think.
I have no doubt that the Admiral meant every word when she told you the plans to destroy the Defias once and for all. She does not make promises lightly, and the enemies of Stormwind should know it.
All I ever wanted was to study.
So I don't know which one I like better, honestly. They're both very good. And, like I said, it's typically a little strange there when they did the revamp of Cataclysm zones. A lot of the zones and quests, they kind of have maybe a nod or two, but just completely kind of removed. And new versions were made to either fill their place or, just fill gaps of experience. But that quest is almost like if it wasn't removed, right? If it was just altered to fit the zone. And there's other quests like that too going on in the zone, like the whole situation with the inn being burned down and stuff like that. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on this. I don't know how many people are interested in lore and stuff, but like I'd love to hear what you guys think of this because both quests pertain directly to King Varian Wrynn. This one taking place in Cataclysm simply doesn't make sense. Like the first one was obviously there to nod towards the fact that King Wrynn was captured and that the situation in Stormwind, which you ultimately have a big part in resolving in the Onyxia attunement. And it's even kind of brought up in this version of the questline, which is very strange because they're basically assuming that Onyxia is the culprit here. I believe in the classic version, it's kind of hinted at that it would be the Naga that are the culprit, but I guess the assumption here is that Onyxia is in control of those Naga and those Hydra and those black dragons. They were like overseeing it all. So I don't know, very odd, strange stuff. I really don't know. But, I love the fact that like the Defias have a big role in this, that they're emotionally charged because they feel like they really want to take back the city. Something they talked a lot in the classic version. Doesn't really get brought up here. It's a much shorter version of it, but I honestly feel like more happens in this version, don't you think? So, yeah, man, this is a crazy storyline. I'm really glad I got to see it on both Classic. I didn't even know it was still in the game until the other day. I did a leveling challenge and I brought my character through here and I was like, oh my God, this is the storyline. It's like the famous 40-part quest from Classic. I was so glad that I was able to make this video and check it out. So I'd very much like to hear your thoughts on this, especially if you're one of those kind of I feel like, especially in the old days, there was people who just kind of like theory craft lore all day. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but yeah, what a great storyline. It still, I kind of makes me long for those days where the whole world was involved, but yeah, we're just not there anymore.